Sports, a place where many athletes find success.
This is likely the final play that matters. End zone wide open. What a night for Mike Williams.
But where there's a winner, there has to be a loser.
He came a long way. You hear me? Come here, I love you, bro. Good.
It's one thing to watch the game, but another to analyze it. Let's talk about the numbers. You ready? YouTube. What's going on, man? Back at again with another video. It's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. How y'all like that Halo theme music, man? All my Halo fans out there. That's Halo 3, my favorite game of all time. Hands down. But anyway, you know it's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. We got the division predictions video for you today. First one of the year, starting on the 2020 football season. Now, before I get started, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what the next division prediction video that you guys want me to do. Is it the NFC North? Is it the NFC West? Or is it the NFC East? Staying with the NFC, gonna go ahead and finish that conference all together in the next couple weeks. So leave that comment down below. Don't forget, guys, let me know what division you want to see in the next video next Thursday. Let me know. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. And of course, before I actually start on my analysis for the cellar dwellers of this division, I got to go ahead and remind you guys that last year I did predict this division. I predicted the winner. I'll just say that. I predicted the winner of this division, which was the Saints. 2019 NFC South Predictions, I had Saints at 1, Panthers at 2, Falcons at 3, and Buccaneers at 4. The division finished Saints at 1, Falcons at 2, Buccaneers at 3, and Panthers at 4. So, outside of the Saints, I got everything else wrong. But, hey, it's a new year. It's a new beginning. It's a new chance for me to get this thing right. So let's get into it. Of course, we're going to start off with the cellar dwellers of this division at the number 4 spot coming in. I'm sorry, but Carolina. The Panthers are the team that I think is going to finish 4th, as they did last year for many reasons. But 2019, this team went 5-11. 4th in the division. 2019, their offensive ranks 20th in passing yards, 20th in points per game, and the second most turnovers in the league, along with being the most sacked team in the NFL, one of the worst O-lines in terms of pass protection in the entire league. That is horrible. 2019, defensively, they were 23rd in total defense, 29th versus the run, 31st in points allowed, 18th in takeaways, second most sacks. That is a good bright spot for them. They did generate the second most sacks of all defensive teams in the league. They had the second worst turnover differential, and that ultimately led to their doom in 2019-2020 football season. Now, the losses for the Panthers are huge. In addition to them not having a good year, they did not have a good offseason. Luke Kuechly retired at the age of 29. They lost Cam Newton, who was their franchise quarterback. We all remember that he was an MVP in 2015. Kyle Allen, the guy that took over the quarterback role after Cam Newton got hurt, was traded to the Washington Redskins. They also lost safety Eric Reed, and they traded Trey Turner to Los Angeles, which was kind of a baffling move. They also released Greg Olsen, who we'll talk about him later on, depending on what division you guys tell me to do next, because he's still in the NFC, so we'll talk about him later. But additions, Teddy Bridgewater is a great addition at quarterback, a guy that takes care of the football. Russell Okung was who they acquired in the trade from my Chargers. I believe we won that trade, but hey, to each his own. Other additions include Seth Roberts, Roby Anderson, and Eli Apple from the Saints. They drafted Derek Brown, the D lineman from Auburn. That was a great pickup. Also, I might mess up this name, Yetur Gross Matos. Hopefully, I got that right. Defensive end from Penn State. And they also drafted Jeremy Chin, the safety from Southern Illinois, in the 3rd round. The bottom line for the Carolina Panthers, they extended Christian McCaffrey through 2025. This team is it's an average team. They're clearly rebuilding on defense, and they don't have much firepower outside of Christian McCaffrey on offense. I don't see this team doing a whole lot this year. But if they keep drafting this well, Derek Brown, I think, was a great pickup for that D-line. I think if they make a few more moves in the next offseason, and maybe they could be competitive. But this year, I just don't think that this roster is built to compete with anybody, honestly. Sorry, Panthers fans. You're not going to be pounding this year. It's not going to be happening. Moving on. Number 3 in the division, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, 2019, they tied for 2nd in the division. They were 2nd in the standings in the division. So, they were 7-9. This team, the bright spot for this team was beating the Saints, ending their winning streak, shocking the world. Didn't think it was going to happen. But divisional opponents always seem to have that little edge when it comes to playing a great team. But anyway, 2019 offensively, the Atlanta Falcons were 5th in total offense, 3rd in passing yards, 30th in rushing yards. They had the 5th most sacks allowed in the entire league. Defensively, they were 23rd in points allowed, and they were pretty much middle of the pack in the rest of the stats. Aside from sacks, they could not get to the quarterback at all. We talked about this during the season. They were 29th in sacks defensively. They were 25th in turnover differential. So this team had a bad habit of turning the ball over and not getting that turnover back on defense. The losses for this team in the offseason include Vic Beasley, Desmond Trufant, and Ryan Allen, their punter, which a lot of people may not look at as a big loss because he's a punter, but not having a punter can lose you a lot of games. It really can. If you can't have that punter that can change the field, flip the field position for you, you're giving the other team good field position and you're allowing them to get at least in field goal range just based off yards alone, starting field position alone. Additions for the Atlanta Falcons, Todd Gurley was the biggest addition, star running back out of the Los Angeles Rams. We know he hasn't been the same since his injury, but in this system, in the Falcon system, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm not even going to get your hopes up. I don't know what to expect from Todd Gurley this year. They got Hayden Hurst. They traded him. They traded 2nd and 5th round picks to Baltimore Ravens for Hayden Hurst, the tight end. They also got Dante Fowler Jr., who hopes to improve this pass rush. Like I said, 29th in sacks is not where you want to be. So, draft-wise, they drafted A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, Marlon Davidson, defensive tackle out of Auburn, and Matt, wait for it, Hennessy.
Hennessy player.
The center out of Temple. Bottom line for the Atlanta Falcons, this is a competitive roster, but they missed their window, guys. They had their window, of course. You don't blow a 28-3 lead. And yes, I'm bringing it up again. You don't blow a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. That was their time. They ruined it. Now that's going to be in their head for the next 5 to 10 years. 5 years at least. Also, this team has no help on the offensive line, who I mentioned gave up the 5th most sacks last season. So that doesn't help anything. I don't think these Falcons are going to be that good this year. The roster is, like I said, the roster is competitive. But with the Saints and the Buccaneers having their rosters in the same division, I just don't think this team is going to be that good. Maybe they can sneak in at that 7th wild card spot. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Moving up to number 2 in the division, I gotta go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Tampa Bay in 2019, they were 7-9. They are also tied in the division for second. On the standings, they popped up at third because, division record and all that stuff. This team, there's a lot you could say about this team, but offensively, they were third in total offense, first in passing yards, 24th in rushing yards, 4th in points per game, and they had the most giveaways in the NFL offensively. Defensively, this team was 30th versus the pass, first versus the run, best run defense in the league, 29th in points allowed, 5th in takeaways, 8th most sacks in the league, and this team's turnover differential was 28th. They were minus 13 in turnover differential. Very terrible. We all know about Jameis Winston, 30 for 30, 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns. Never seen it before, ever. Like, this is ridiculous. The rate that he was turning the ball over, I think, affected the defense. It most definitely affected the defense. It had them in bad field position, which might explain why they were 29th in points allowed. You throw a pick, other team gets the ball at the 20-yard line, chances are they're going to score. It's the NFL. They're going to score most of the time, unless your defense is just that type of stonewall defense. But anyway, the losses for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jameis Winston, of course, as expected, was out of there. You don't throw 30 interceptions and come back to the starting job. It just does not happen. I keep telling people that. I don't understand what y'all don't understand about this. But anyway, additions for this team, starting at the quarterback position. Tom Brady, the GOAT, as well as his old former tight end in New England, his best receiving target, Rob Gronkowski, traded for 2024 round pick from the Patriots. Draft-wise, they drafted Tristan Wirfs, the offensive tackle for Iowa. Of course, they got to protect Tom Brady, You got to. He's not going to be moving around. He's not going to be running around for 30 yards, 40 yards. This guy's going to be in the pocket. He may shift up in the pocket, shift to the right, shift to the left, but he's going to be in the pocket. He's a pocket passer. Great pickup there in the draft. Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety out of Minnesota. That name may be familiar to some. Keyshawn Vaughn, the running back out of Vanderbilt. Also a good pickup. The bottom line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is that the skill positions are locked. This team is stacked. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. Now they got Rob Gronkowski. They got Brady in there. He's not going to be throwing 30 interceptions. Good at quarterback. Questions for me would be in the linebacking core. The front seven for this team ranked 30th in Pro Football Focus. Questions up front. We're going to have to see if this front seven can bounce back next year. They re-signed Ndamukong Suh, so that's a great thing. We'll see. With that great run defense, should be able to start something, get motivated, since they won't be on the field so much by Jameis Winston throwing all these interceptions. But, of course, that leaves the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, to come in at number 1, win the division again. They went 13-3 last year, won the division. Of course, we all know what happened in the playoffs against the Vikings again. I still do think that was offensive pass interference on Rudolph, but hey, it's over. I gotta let it go. 2019 offensively, the New Orleans Saints were 9th in total offense, 7th in passing yards, 3rd in points per game, 3rd least sacks allowed, and they were the only NFL team with under 10 turnovers, guys. That is amazing. No other team in the NFL had 10 turnovers or less. This team had 8. They didn't even have 10. It's ridiculous. Drew Brees led offense, takes care of the football. 2019 defensively, this team is 20th versus the pass, 4th versus the run, 3rd most sacks in the league. This D-line was getting after the quarterback very aggressively. Cameron Jordan and those guys knew how to get to the quarterback. This team was the second best in turnover differential, plus 15, behind only the Patriots. Very great, very clean football. Just a really fun team to watch. You know, Alvin Kamara and those guys, Michael Thomas, defensively, you know, like I said, Cameron Jordan, Marcus Lattimore. It's beautiful football, beautiful football. Losses for this team, Teddy Bridgewater, the backup, of course. Big loss there. We saw Drew Brees go down last year. Bridgewater stepped up. And then he went and got paid in Carolina. So congrats to him, but sad for the Saints if anything is to happen to Drew Brees, God forbid. Ted Ginn lost a little speed on offense, as well as Eli Apple, who started a few games at corner for him. Manti Te'o was another loss on defense, linebacking-wise. A.J. Klein was another loss on defense. So they lost a few pieces on defense. They lost a little speed and a little depth on offense. But let's look at these additions. Jameis Winston as a backup. As a backup, I'm not really concerned about that because he's not going to be throwing 30 interceptions as a backup, okay? Emmanuel Sanders, huge pickup from the 49ers. Great performer for them last year. Of course, we saw them go to the Super Bowl with Emmanuel Sanders after he came over from Denver. Added a big boost to their offense in terms of big plays, big third down guy. Malcolm Jenkins, the safety, he's returned. He did play for the Saints a few years ago. He went to the Eagles, won the Super Bowl with them or whatever. Played very well, Pro Bowler. Ty Montgomery was also another addition for the Saints. They drafted Cesar Ruiz, hopefully I'm saying that name right, the center from Michigan, Zach Bond, linebacker from Wisconsin, and Adam Trautman, the tight end from Dayton. Bottom line for the New Orleans Saints, for Nola, this is still the best roster in the division. They still have the best quarterback right now. I'm not saying that Drew Brees is better than Tom Brady career-wise. I'm not going to say that because I think Tom Brady is just a little bit better. They also have the best coach in the division. That is the reason. That's the biggest reason that I'm saying that the Saints can win this division yet again 2 years in a row. Those are my division predictions for the NFC South. Like I said, let me know what division y'all want to see next Thursday. We'll be dropping another division predictions video. Thank y'all for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please let me know what division y'all want to see next. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notifications bell. If you're new, thank you for your view. I appreciate you. It's your boy Jay. We out of here.